All praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim B'chak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, accurate Millstone, that taught us this epic truth through the Spirit, and that rule well. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, which is the only ones that can understand this. Okay, they fucking scoff that we only deal with and direct these epistles to the hopeful elect. They say it's about all Israel, which is completely contrary to the scriptures. But one thing they factor out, and these niggas fail to realize, is that these epistles and the understanding of the scriptures is like the fucking adults from the Peanuts. That's what it sounds. That when the adults in the Peanuts speak, that's what it sounds like to the non-elect. All right? They can't even perceive it. It sounds like fucking Mandarin Chinese to them. All right? So we're going to expound more upon this concept that Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and these other nations are attempting to straight up extract the consciousness. All right? We went into that Psalm, the 2nd chapter, in verse 2, and I believe the 3rd verse in the NLT that says, let us free ourselves from slavery to the Heavenly Father. Okay? And in their puny fucking minds, they think that they can do this by extracting the consciousness from the body that is subject to the judgments of the Heavenly Father, not realizing that any and everything, every last fucking particle of the Heavenly Father's creation is subject to his control. All right? And it is an inescapable reality that the Most High can and will do and does do whatever the fuck he pleases with his creation. Okay? But this is there, as we mentioned in that lesson a few days ago, and we brought that precept in the 1st or 2nd verse in the NLT of Psalms, the 2nd chapter, that these plans that they have are futile. Okay? Meaning it's fucking vanity. It's not going to do a goddamn thing. It's not going to achieve its purpose. All right? So, because, some brothers and the scoffers, even brothers in the truth, they're like, I'm not sure that I'll have to do the research and see if that's what he's really trying to do. Well, here it is right here to show you that this is really what he's trying to do. Okay? You have that movie Transcendence, and these fucking scorners think that these are just movies. But no, this is all, that movies are imitations of reality. Okay? And then, even farther, truth is stranger than fiction. It actually is way deeper what's happening in reality than that which is in a fucking movie is we're in fucking reality. So even if it's a so-called fucking sci-fi, right? Regardless if it's a fictional piece, whether it's a story or someone created, okay? Mankind is doing even way farther out shit than you can fucking imagine. So here it is right here. It says, how modern scientists are proposing that consciousness can be extracted and put on a hard drive to achieve immortality. Okay? And this was, I believe, a motherfucker named Alexei. Oh, shit. It had the name on there. But I guess there's another couple key figures, Ray Kurzweil and Dmitry Itzkov. But there was another one, Alexei Forgot the last name. Right? Where these are what their teams of scientists are attempting to do. One thing you gotta fucking realize is that the consciousness is simply located within your brain. Okay? I believe the frontal lobe, the cortex. All right? When you make a decision, when you think me fucking talking right now into this phone, all these things are by way of the control center of the body, of the brain, okay? That's responsible for thought and all these things. And then when you go to what the spirit is, when you go to what the scriptures say the heart, which is the lob, it really is going into your mind, into the seat of thought. Where is the seat of thought? Meaning, where's the central location of where the fuck you think is in this brain? Okay? And they've even determined it like it's the size of like a fucking mustard seed in your brain. Okay? A spark. So even carnally, you can see what they would be able to do. They would take your fucking brain, a segment or portion of your fucking brain, take that and, extract that and be able to do what they please with it. For example, one of the things like in Transcendence, they loaded it to a fucking hard drive or a computer, motherfucker's consciousness. In Westworld, as we mentioned, to load it into a fucking a robot, but that has the likeness of a human. Well, they have those, a humanoid robot, right? That some of them you can't even fucking tell if they're human or not. All right? Says, the futurists and modern scientists propose achieving immortality through mind uploading, a process involving mapping, digitizing, and simulating the human brain's 86 billion neurons and trillions of connectome into advanced computers. This approach aims to create a substrate-independent mind that can live in a simulated environment utilizing methods like brain emulation, scanning, and potential gradual neural replacement. Okay? We don't even have to get into all this. All right? But this is what he's attempting. We don't have to get into the fucking the key concepts. We're just going to hit the general. And then here's another one, right? That's one way. But here's another way. This is the question, how do modern scientists propose that consciousness can be extracted? So we have that form. Because one of the forms they say is to upload it into a digital reality that can live forever, but it's your fucking consciousness. And you're literally self-aware, meaning you're aware that it's you and you're in this fucking digital reality. But let's check this. Here it is. Modern scientists, particularly in neuroscience and theoretical physics, do not generally propose extracting consciousness like a file, but rather map or replicate it by identifying the neural correlates of consciousness, the NCC, simulating brain connectivity, or modeling consciousness as a fundamental physical field. Okay? Integrated info theory, global workspace theory, simulation mapping neural activity, projective wave theory, and fundamental field theory. Okay? See? There you go. But let's go into the scriptures and show you that this will never be possible number one. And number two, even if you did, you're still subject to the will of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. Okay? Psalm the ninth, Psalms. Romans the ninth chapter. Who has resisted his will? Right, let's grab that first. Romans the ninth chapter. And it's pride. Okay? Pride is the source of you even having the notion that this is fucking possible. But this is this man's plight. He is crooked. He is against the Heavenly Father. Okay, we're going to do a lesson on that right after this, on how this man is fucking crooked. All right? This is in Romans 9 and 19. It says, Thou wilt say then unto me, why doth he yet find fault? But this is the point. For who has resisted his will? Okay? Wow, look at this. Nay, but, O man, who art thou that repliest against the Most High? And this is what they do. They actually reject the ways of the Heavenly Father. They reject his divinity, even his existence. Can you believe that? They fucking deny the existence of the Heavenly Father. But then if they do acknowledge his existence, what do? They say, we're going to do it this way. Okay. Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? Okay. And then we also got to grab the other one. The potter, power over the clay. See. This is in Isaiah 29. See. Check it out. Okay. Yep. Isaiah the 29th chapter. Yep. And then LT, how foolish can you be? He is the potter, and he is certainly greater than you, the clay. Imagine the Most High saying this to Esau, Edom, at the face of, or being, we'll put it like this. Imagine the Most High saying this to Esau, Edom, in the midst of Esau, telling the Most High to his face that we can make creation better than you. Okay, you who created everything. We know he did it. He did it through Yahushai and the Elohim, of course. But really it came from the Heavenly Father's blueprint. So imagine Esau in rebellion to the Heavenly Father say, we are going to make your creation better than you made it. Okay? Pretty much the way you made it, we're going to fix it. It says, should the created thing say of the one who made it, he didn't make me? Does a jar ever say, the potter who made me is stupid? And that's exactly what he says. There's another translation where he says, you're doing it wrong. You did it wrong. Okay? CSB says, he didn't make me. How can what is formed say about the one who formed it? He doesn't understand what he is doing. See this? See, there's another one that said you're doing it wrong. You did it wrong. In the BES, thou hast not made me wisely. Okay? That's his sentiment. That's his fucked up logic, really, lack thereof. Okay? Well, let's go into these scriptures and we know his end. All throughout the scriptures, it tells you what he's going to do to the wicked. But let's go into this Ecclesiastes and show you, because it clearly states in these scriptures that you cannot prevent yourself from, you cannot pretty much achieve immortality unless the Heavenly Father gives it to you. Okay? And we're not in that time. We all have a lifespan right now. Until he grants immortality into the elect, and that's the only people who are going to achieve immortality is the Israelites. But we're not even in that age yet. The age when that is going to be present is after the destruction of this current age, which is Esau's world. All right? So no man has the ability to live forever. All right? Despite these comments from Yuval Harari and motherfucking Jared Kushner and these scientists and what are they, post-humanists and transhumanists and shit. Okay? What was that other word they called them? See. What was that other word they called them? Acted to achieve immortality. Slovakia, I can't believe these memories are trash at times. Slovakia. Futurists. Okay, they're called futurists. Despite their fucking their really that rebellion, that pride. Futile. Okay, let's go. So retain in Ecclesiastes 8:8. Okay. There is no man that hath power over the spirit to retain the spirit, neither hath he power in the day of death. See this? And there is no discharge in that war, neither shall wickedness deliver those that are given to it. All right? See what the NLT says. None of us can hold back our spirit from departing. You see this? When he calls it up to the spirit world. Okay? So this is literally what they're attempting to achieve, is to retain the spirit, right? To keep on going after that lifespan that the Heavenly Father has shortened men's lives to in this current era. It says, none of us has the power to prevent the day of our death. It's plain, okay? There is no escaping that obligation, that dark battle. And in the face of death, wickedness will certainly not rescue the wicked. Esau, Edom. Okay. So when a good majority of Edomites get destroyed on this side, and then even, the elites, they're just going to be saved for slavery. That's the only reason why they won't get put to death. They're going to get fucking hunted out of whatever hiding places they're in when this transition takes place. what does it say? This great transition, the parting asunder of times, which is the crossover from this current era into the kingdom, which will be eternal. But for them, their lifespans will only be, it will be a certain, they'll only have a certain shelf life, so to speak, whatever the fuck you call that, lifespan. They'll only have a limited fucking lifespan. And even the elites, they're gonna, so for example, let me finish up what I mentioned about the Edomites that get put to death here in this last go around and the destruction that's coming through various means. Fucking thermonuclear missiles, chariot fire, all right, famines, all these calamities. They're going to be reincarnated in the kingdom by the loins of the first fruits of the crop of slavery, okay, which are the elites, and whoever gets spared from destruction in this crossover that we're referring to, okay? So they're gonna birth the fucking Edomites that get put to death, and then it'll be a cycle, and then those children will grow up, and then they'll give birth to more lines of Edomites, and the first fruits of the crop of slavery, the fucking elites that drop dead, they'll come back after a certain time within a 1,000-year span, okay? And then what will happen? They're going to get exterminated. But the same is going to go for the heathen nations. They're going to be fucking recycled. Their spirits are going to be fucking recycled, okay? And none of the heathen will ever achieve immortality and retain their spirit as they're attempting to do, okay, through fucking unnatural means. So we can also correct that statement that nobody will ever be able to achieve immortality through these unnatural means, artificial fucking means, okay? It will only be by divine means, and it will only be the nation of Israel solely, okay? And like it says, this their wickedness will certainly not rescue them. All right? So with that, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shemi Al Shai Bahashem Racha Chorash.